Hi, welcome to my channel. Thank you for joining me. If you are new here, welcome. I use my intuition to channel messages from the spirit of the universe. And I use cards as a tool to help me do that. So I'm just going to see what message Spirit would like to bring forth. Spirit, please reveal. Spirit, please reveal a message for us. Okay, we have winter, the sacredness of pausing. And then we have illumination. Okay, so I feel here with this card, this feels like a loss. Like someone is going through a sense of loss, okay? But what Spirit is saying here is that it's not actually a loss, even though you actually see it that way, it's not. Okay. So what I'm seeing here is it's not a loss, it's not an ending, it is simply a pause. And this is actually a sacred pause for you. It is a very important time for you, and I feel like this time is very important in your spiritual growth on your journey, and I feel that this pause is very much needed. Okay, and you can see here it says the sacredness of pausing. So Spirit would like you to see the spiritual reason for this pause. Okay, and the sacredness in this pause is actually the illumination. So you are actually pausing to find illumination, clarity about your situation before you move forward. Okay, so I feel like this is the type of energy where things seem like they're moving so fast. It's like you don't have a moment just to stop and take a look at everything and really assess it to get the clarity that you need. So I feel like really what you're needing is clarity. And you know, with winter, it's really a time of rest too. So let's see what else we have here. Okay. So yeah, we have the moon that wanted to come out. So you definitely, there's something that you're not seeing clearly. And I think that you have been looking for the answers, searching for the answers. And I feel like these answers that you're searching for, it's like you need to slow down in order to find them. Okay, to take that pause, to find the illumination in this situation. So this is literally taking a pause in order to know your next steps very clearly, knowing exactly what you're going to do. Okay, we have the devil at the bottom of the deck. So I feel like with the devil here, this really feels like something that was toxic that you weren't able to see that it was toxic. That's what I'm seeing with winter and the moon. And so whatever this is, there's been a pause or a break that's been perceived as a loss or an ending. But really, this is just a break or a pause in order for you to see exactly how toxic this situation is, to find the illumination on the truth of the situation, okay? Because I feel like you're seeing it for something that it's not, is what I'm getting. So let's take a look at winter. Spirit, tell me about winter. Tell me about winter. We have the Emperor. And 5 of Wands. So this is very heavy Mars energy. Okay, so this would be Scorpio, Aries, but mostly Aries. Okay, but just because Mars also rules Scorpio, you know, I'm throwing that in there. This is Aries all the way. Okay, so let's take a look at the moon. What does the moon want to say? Okay, we have 7 of Wands and Judgment. Okay. So let's talk now, okay? Because from what I'm seeing, for some time now, things have felt quite out of control for you, is what I'm seeing here, okay? Mentally, emotionally, it feels like you've been experiencing conflict that just seems to be coming from outside of yourself. It feels like there's nothing that you can do to defend yourself against this conflict that constantly keeps coming at you. I also feel like in some way in this situation you could be feeling very defensive, the need to defend yourself very loudly and very clearly is what I'm picking up with these 2 cards, and Judgment, because the Judgment has the trumpet they're blowing, okay, and you know, they're really loud. Okay. Yeah, that's what I'm seeing here. And with this card, you know, this is defense. He's defending himself. So this is defending yourself very loudly, very clearly during a situation that doesn't really seem clear with the moon here. And it just feels like there's a lot of aggressive energy and conflict coming from around you and from the people around you. And you know what I'm getting as well? This is actually a situation that keeps resurfacing. It's like something you think is done and over. This could be an argument, a conflict, you know, whatever it is. You think that it's settled, that it's done and over, but it just keeps resurfacing. Let me straighten my camera. I'm sorry. I just saw the numbers 818 on the video too. So someone could be seeing 818. And this again, the numbers is a clarifier saying, yes, this keeps coming back up. It keeps resurfacing, okay, with the Judgment card here to tell me that. And no matter how many times you kind of defend yourself against it, it still keeps coming up, okay? That's the energy that I have. And it feels like it's a little bit out of your control, especially with the Emperor here. So Spirit has really come in an act of, I feel this is divine intervention, to give you this sacred pause moment for you to find illumination and be able to see the toxicity in the situation, okay? So I feel like for some of you, like it's a work situation. For some of you, it's family. I'm seeing both of those things here. I'm seeing just like people around you, friend groups. Look, I split this deck. We have Pluto. We have external party here showing me, yes, this energy is actually coming from outside of you. There's actually nothing that you're doing to incite this energy, to excite this energy, to bring it upon you. There's nothing that you're doing to cause all of this conflict. Okay, it is coming from outside of you, but Spirit is saying there's a reason why, and this reason has not been clear to you because your emotions and your thoughts have been so conflicted because of this, okay? It's kind of like that energy of saying, what did I do to you? You know what I mean? Like, what did I do to deserve this? Why are you acting like this? Okay, so let's get another card for the Emperor and the Five of Wands, okay? This Mars energy, this very aggressive energy, okay? What's going on with that? Yeah, this is the reason why it is so hard for you to get clarity on this situation, okay? Because with third eye and clarity here with the Mars cards, it's like such chaotic energy around you, outside of you. It feels very hectic, very chaotic. You're in this very defensive energy. And so it's hard for you to quiet your mind, quiet your thoughts, to receive clarity through your intuition. So it's really important to take this pause, this kind of time out, to receive that clarity that you really have been needing. And you know what? I also feel that someone is trying to control you in some way through this conflict directed at you. So I kind of feel this is like someone causing conflict with you and other people, because indirectly they're trying to control you in some way, because the Emperor is about control, okay? All right, and we also have the number 4 and the 5 here, okay? The Emperor with the 5 of Wands. So these two numbers together tells me with the 4, it's about trying to build and lay a solid foundation. And with the 5, it's like tearing it down, right? Or trying to build something, but it's constantly being torn down by forces outside of yourself. And maybe even it has nothing to do with you. And that's the situation I'm seeing here. So there does need to be this break, because I feel like you are not seeing this person clearly. That's what I'm getting with the Emperor. This could be a masculine energy, but whoever this is actually someone who feels they have some sense of power or authority over you. Okay, so this could be, for example, like a boss, a superior that you work with, a father, someone like that, okay? If it is a relationship, okay, I feel this, if it is a relationship, it could be someone you actually have a child with, because the Emperor is the father of the deck, okay? But, you know, if it is a relationship, it's a very controlling relationship, it's a very toxic relationship, that you feel like you constantly have to be in the defense. And also with the 7 of Wands, I feel like this is kind of a violation. So I feel like, yeah, this is toxic, okay? And I feel like if it is a relationship, this person has actually like violated you in some way, emotionally, mentally, and just constantly make you feel like you have to defend yourself. And I feel like if this is the case, it's like a refusal to walk away from it. And I feel like if this is the case, if it is a relationship, you probably have walked away in the past. You've probably walked away several times with judgment here and actually came back, okay? And so now there's like this refusal to see how toxic it is, and there's a refusal to walk away. I feel like if this is a relationship, this person's controlling, and they like to, I feel like they like to say things about you or talk about you in a very negative way, like very loudly. I feel like this is the type of person that would yell at you and say like demeaning things, things that like really cross the line or violate your psyche or your emotions in some way, with Judgment and the Moon and the Seven of Wands. And if this is actually like a boss or a parental figure, this is someone who I feel blames things on you to like your coworkers, and maybe even yells at you or scorns you very loudly and in front of others. And it makes you feel like you have to be defensive. Maybe it's even like caused all the people around you to blame things on you like automatically. And so you feel like you constantly have to defend yourself. And so Spirit is saying this is really toxic. And I think that, you know, if this is the case, you might be actually internalizing this situation here and not seeing that this person who is actually demeaning you or what in some kind of way is actually the one that is in the wrong, because there is this energy here with Judgment of kind of speaking up for yourself. And it's like, I feel like with this energy, it's like you're not doing that, or you're too afraid to do that. Spirit, tell me about the Seven. You know what? I want to take a look at the Five of Wands and the Seven, because it makes a 12 here, which also is pause energy, winter energy. It's Pisces. It is, you know, that hibernation energy. It's the Hanged Man. And anytime you go into like the Hanged Man mode, which is literally like that winter hibernation pause energy, it is to find a sense of enlightenment, clarity, illumination. And this is why on the Hanged Man card, there's always like a ring around his head, a gold ring, because he's hung upside down to see a new perspective and to get the clarity that he needs. Okay, so I actually want to take a look at the Five and Seven of Wands. Okay, we have separation and longing. It did come out in reverse though. So yeah, there is a separation taking place here, and I feel like you might not want it to be taking place. You might be just trying to think about how to get back with this person with Judgment is what I'm getting here. But Spirit is saying, you know, I don't know why, but like, isn't there a song that's like, there's a time for change and there's a time for winter and there's a time for summer? What is that song? Like, for everything, there is a time, and there's a time for summer, and there's a time for winter. I can't remember the song, but, and I don't even remember how it goes, but I hear those lyrics, like, in my head. Yeah, like, there's a time for everything, and there's even a time for separation, okay? There's a time for winter, the winter card, and there's no point in fighting against the winter coming, right? The winter is going to come, and you know it's going to be cold, and it's all the plants are going to die, and you know your car won't be able to start right up, and you know you're going to have to scrape off your windshield or whatever. But at least if you live where I live, you will. But you know, there's no point in dreading it, fighting against it, longing for the summer because, or spring or whatever it is, because the truth is, the summer and the spring, there's a time for that too. And you're going to experience that again, okay? All in its time, but right now is your pause moment. And just like the winter, and just like how there's no point in holding on to the summer and the spring, you have to embrace the winter and find the sacredness in winter. Okay, and one example of doing that is, this is just an example, okay, is like holidays in the winter, Christmas in the winter, okay, finding something sacred in that pause, in that hibernation moment, okay? So for you, that sacredness is clarity, is actually seeing the situation for what it really is, okay? And I think that you are going to be seeing it differently after this pause. And what Spirit is saying, I honestly feel like 5 to 7 weeks, you're going to be feeling completely different about this situation, because you're going to see it for what it is. But not only are you going to be feeling different about the situation, you're going to be feeling different about yourself. Okay? So yeah, look at that. The spring will come again. Okay? That's what Spirit wants you to know. So all you have to focus on right now is just being in that pause, being in this moment, okay? Being in this separation, this separateness, this this kind of hibernation period for you, all right? Because all you have to do is be able to clear your energy and find clarity, all right? I feel like, honestly, for you, like, my heart is going out to you right now, because I feel like you've been through so much, like with other people and stuff, that you don't even realize how much you've been through. You don't even realize like how much you've been hurt, and you don't even realize what effects it's really had like on your, I feel like I'm about to cry right now. What effects it's really had like on your psyche or on your emotions, because I feel like you have spent so long being strong, defending yourself against everything and everyone and all of this situation you've been dealing with, that it's almost like you didn't have time to like reconcile with anything else within yourself. It's like you were always having to be that strong, defensive person. You were always having to hold something, someone back. You were always having to prove yourself in some way. And, Spirit is saying, I see you. I hear you. I know that you're tired of defending yourself. I know that you're tired of this energy. And so now it's just time to breathe, relax, enjoy the separateness, enjoy the sacredness, okay, of being alone, because sometimes being alone, sometimes being at a loss is sacred. Spirit's also saying by spring, I'm really seeing like a brand new situation for you. Okay. Yeah, you're dealing with the masculine energy, like I said, with the Emperor here. And again, like I said, this person is someone who believes they have power and authority over you. Again, it could be a father figure, someone you have children with, something like that. You know what I feel like? I feel like your inner masculine energy, like we all have masculine and feminine energies within us, which makes up the whole. It's like the yin and yang, But we all have that within us. It's just, there's a fluctuation. Like some have more feminine energy, some have more masculine energy. And I feel for you that your own inner masculine energy within yourself, whether you are a feminine or a masculine, has been like severely put down, hurt, like abused, judged. And so I feel like, you have this issue being assertive. You have an issue being confident. And I just feel like, yeah, it's like your inner masculine energy is so hurt. So I really feel like it needs healing. And in order to heal that, it's healing your confidence. It's getting clarity about why you felt this way, and it has nothing to do, for the person in this reading, this has nothing to do with you. This has to do with someone who I feel, with the Emperor here, and I feel it's a masculine, can't control their temper, can't control what they say, causes conflict around you. It's almost like I feel like you've been like the scapegoat or something for them. And it's literally just broken down your inner masculine energy to where you don't even feel you can be confident anymore. You could be having really strange dreams, okay? And these dreams are messages. These dreams, I feel like, is your inner hurt masculine crying out for attention, okay? That's what I'm seeing here, because if you really listen to your soul, this energy within you, part of your soul feels so misunderstood. The part of your soul that is not always defending, right? It's underneath all of that. At the core of yourself, it's like there's so much hurt there behind all of that defense. And I think that it's trying to tell you that. It's trying to show you that through your dreams, okay? I don't know why, but I'm getting the message like when you meditate to put on a hood. Okay, like to put something over your head. That's what I'm getting. So we have avoiding and stalemate. So you've been avoiding this for a very long time. I think you've been avoiding walking away from the situation, walking away from conflict. I think you've been telling yourself it's okay. I think you've been telling yourself you can handle it. But all of this energy really does build up, and it does take a weight, again, on your spirit, on your psyche, on your emotions. It does come out in some way. And so right now, these are coming out through your dreams. Part of your soul is reaching out to you through your dreams, asking you to see it, to stop avoiding. Okay? And honestly, I think that it has put you in like the stalemate energy, because it's like you're afraid to be confident. You're afraid to be assertive. Like you're afraid to even like be proud of yourself or your work or anything because of this energy. And, you know, I just want to say, like, you know, I'm sorry for what you're going through. I literally felt like I was going to cry a few minutes ago because I really felt this energy like in my heart. All right, so the sacredness of pause. I think you're getting ready to go through a very sacred time in your life. You are going to look back on this time and thank Spirit for this separation of whatever this is. You are going to thank Spirit for ending this, because honestly, I feel like you would not have, is what I'm getting. You would not have. And so I do feel this is divine intervention energy, okay? So Spirit's saying just breathe and allow yourself to relax. You know what I'm feeling for you too? You have not allowed yourself to really relax in a long time. I also feel for you like you're breathing. I feel like it's really short. Spirit is saying take a deep breath, okay? I don't know why I'm getting this, but take a deep breath, okay? This is gonna help. Yeah, we have say no here. I think for you, this is learning how to say no, learning that you don't have to explain yourself, you don't have to defend yourself, you don't always have to be on the defense, you don't have anything to prove to anyone. And you know what? I'm sorry that someone made you feel that way, but it's just simply not true. Maybe that person feels that way and they were trying to push that energy off on you, but it's not true about you. And you're going to see that, okay? So you know that you are spiritually protected during this time. Your guides are protecting you, okay? So know that you're not alone, all right? Your spirit guides are with you. We have emotions. Know that your emotions are heightened right now. I don't know why, but I feel like for some of you, you have like an anxious feeling or like a feeling of dread, like something bad's gonna happen. Spirit saying nothing bad's gonna happen. Okay, this is just your inner defensiveness and hurt trying to grasp on to what you're used to, which is defensiveness and anxiety, right? So Spirit's saying just breathe. Okay, your emotions are really heightened right now, but the more you just breathe, the more you just allow this pause, this separateness, this moment, the better you're going to feel. And just know that you are very protected. And the reason why you are in this pause moment right now is because you are protected. Okay, I honestly feel like this separation of a job or relationship, whatever it is, was protection in itself. Okay, Spirit is saying, Spirit is protecting you, protecting your emotions from further harm and damage that could be done in the situation, okay? So let's just get a few last messages here. Okay, we have, why do you feel the need to be needed by others? So yeah, I think that you try to do your best, you try to prove yourself, like you want to be needed by others, you want this person to need you, or this whatever it is to need you, job or whatever, but it's like Spirit saying, why do you feel the need to be needed by those things, right? When they are so toxic, when they are having such a damaging effect, right? It's like, why do you feel you need to be needed? And that's a question to ask yourself, is why do you feel that way, right? And honestly, I feel the reason why you do feel that way is because I really feel for you. You may have developed almost like a, not like a full complex or anything, but almost like a complex of feeling powerless, unconfident, like just constantly feeling like you have to prove yourself and defend yourself. And so you feel that you feel the need to just be needed, right? Because of that, I feel, because you've been torn down so much. It's like you feel like if someone doesn't need you, then they wouldn't want you. You see what I mean? Like, let me try to think of an example. So it's kind of like if you work a job, okay? Let's say you work somewhere, I don't know, like somewhere, anywhere, right? Like McDonald's, who knows? But let's say you work somewhere and You know, you want the people there to need your help, to need your service, right? To need you to be there. And so that kind of gives you like this sense of duty or the sense of like purpose that you need to do. But it's like if they, you know, it's like if I don't even know what I was going to say. Like, to be honest, why does this have to be complicated? Anyways, yeah, so let's say you work somewhere, okay, and the place like brings in someone else, okay? So then, you know, you get let go because you're not needed there anymore, right? And so you feel like you need to I don't know, like prove yourself or, you know, make this place need you or whatever. So you can't be like replaced so easily. Something like that, like at a job. But it's like, you know, if I think it's damaging you and your psyche because it's like telling you that if someone or something doesn't need you, then that means they don't want you either. When really there could be someone or a situation that really wants you, but they don't need you. And technically, that's the healthy way to look at it. Okay, so I think the way of seeing it is kind of backwards in that way, is what Spirit is saying. So, Spirit wants you to pay attention to that. So, that was a lot to get out, right? So, the next one we have is why are you acting challenged or competitive? Okay, so yeah, this is just feeling like you always have to be on the defense, feeling always like you have to prove yourself, and it's because the situation is actually toxic. Okay, it's having an effect on you. So that's why we have this sacred pause here for you, okay? It is sacred because you're going to get a lot of clarity out of it. We have, are you willing to share some of the responsibilities? So with this card, Spirit is actually asking you to share some of the responsibility for how you are feeling. Okay, so this is knowing that, you know, like taking responsibility and saying, okay, you know, you're right. I do feel the need to be needed by others. Or you're right, I do feel very defensive in this situation. Or you know what, you're right, I do have a lot of anxiety about the situation that I need to pause and get some clarity. So, you know, this is just taking responsibility for allowing yourself to put up with this, basically. Okay? Because I feel like with these two cards here, you don't always protect your emotions in the way that you should. And you might even avoid your own emotions, and so you don't even feel the need to protect them because you avoid them altogether. And this really puts you like at a stalemate energy inside of yourself, feeling like you can't move forward and feeling like you're in a constant state of like defense. Because you're defending off your emotions, you know, you're avoiding them, you're defending them off. You're in this constant state of defense. It's really not healthy for you, okay? And so that's why there has been this pause. So we have emotions are not a weakness. Watch your relationship strengthen once you identify with your feelings more. Okay, so I think that you are having issues knowing how you feel in the situation because you are always on the defense, because you are always avoiding your emotions, because you're always trying to silence them. You see them as a weakness because I think that you have a lot of hurt emotions in the situation. And so it's hard for you to even begin to identify your feelings right now or identify with how you're feeling because you have avoided them for so long. And this is another area where taking some of the responsibility for how you're feeling comes in, and taking the responsibility to start identifying how you actually feel and all of those emotions that you've tried to avoid in order to protect yourself. You're no longer in a state of defense right now. It's okay to let your guard down. Okay, it's okay to breathe and process. Okay, we also have, in the past you were terrified and scared, but now you are safe and protected. So you might actually have a history of avoiding how you feel, feeling defensive inside in order to protect yourself, or even drowning out your feelings to protect yourself, because somewhere in your past, maybe even in your childhood, you felt terrified and you felt scared, and you weren't able to find a way out of feeling that. You weren't able to find like that safe space within yourself. And so you had to learn how to avoid your emotions altogether, avoid how you felt, avoid the fear and feeling terrified. Okay, and Spirit wants you to know you're not in that place anymore. Okay, you're safe now. It's okay to know that you're safe. It's okay to breathe and feel safe. It's okay to allow yourself to feel now, and know that it's okay to allow yourself to feel. And it might be a little bit intense at first because you haven't felt these feelings in such a long time. You have really avoided them and held them back and within yourself. And if you're a masculine energy, you have done this because you felt like that was the manly thing to do, or that was the masculine thing to do, is to avoid how you were feeling. And you might have even acted out these feelings through trying to protect everyone else around you. Okay, but deep inside, you're feeling hurt. You've avoided how you felt. You've avoided healing. Okay, and that's if you're a masculine watching this. But Spirit is saying you don't have to feel that way anymore. Okay, you are not that person who was terrified and scared. You are not that person anymore. And, you know, maybe this was a child energy. You know, maybe as a child you felt that way. And you're like, what do you mean? That was me. Yeah, it was you, but it's not you anymore. And that inner child is in there somewhere. And that inner child is still terrified. They're still scared. They're still waiting to feel safe and protected. Okay, because you have a very long history of avoiding your feelings, drowning them out to protect yourself, to protect others. You saw them as a weakness in some way. And now you might have some issues processing your feelings, processing how you actually feel, or even identifying how you feel. You might not even know how to express it or process it or even know how you feel. And this is because there's still inside of you that inner child that's still terrified and scared. Okay, and Spirit is saying, again, you are protected now. It's okay to feel these things, and it could be intense, but, you know, for so long you've avoided your emotions. Maybe in different ways, it's time to feel them. Okay, allow that inner child to feel. those feelings, okay? I mean, if as a child you began to suppress feelings of feeling terrified or scared, unsafe, and you started blocking out your feelings since then, and whatever means you have, that inner child still locked inside of there, afraid, and he wants to feel safe and protected, or she, right? And the truth is, this inner child has never felt safe and protected because the emotions have always been avoided, prevented in some way. And so for this inner child, it's like there was never any growth there for the inner child because they were stuck in that terrified state. Okay, this reading is getting really intense, but you know what? Sometimes the message is there, and when it's there, it's there. So that inner child is still waiting to be acknowledged. That inner child is still waiting to feel safe enough to let those feelings out, okay? Not to avoid them, not to, drown them out in some way or bottle them up, but to actually allow yourself to feel them. And if that means being upset, if that means like crying, if whatever that means, then let it be that, let it mean that, because this inner child was too afraid to express themselves. This inner child was too afraid to even act out their feelings. Like a lot of children will act out their feelings. This inner child was too afraid to even act out their feelings. Okay, and maybe it's crying. I don't know. Maybe it's throwing a fit. Who cares what it is, right? Like, unless it's something, really bad. Don't do anything bad, right? Like, if you have to cry or even, like, break something or... I don't really recommend breaking stuff, but, whatever. Allow it, okay? Allow this inner child to feel safe enough to finally act out their emotions and know that they're protected. Finally, once and for all, I think it's going to be healing for you, okay? Because in the past, you felt inferior. You didn't understand your strengths or how capable you really were in the past. And I feel like you might be someone who was held back from a lot ever since you were very young because you felt inferior, afraid, maybe even didn't feel safe to be yourself. But I think during this moment, during this pause, your personal strengths and what you're actually capable of is going to be really highlighted to you. Okay, I think that what I'm seeing here is you are going to get a sense of healing from the situation. You're going to get a sense of clarity and illumination from the situation. But also I'm seeing this inner child who is finally getting acknowledged, who is finally heard, okay? So yeah, go with this moment of separateness, of sacredness, of peace for you, okay? It's absolutely the perfect thing for you, even though you feel like it's not. All right, so let's just get a couple more messages. So we have transformation. So look at that. She is on the horse, and the horse has wings, and she's getting ready to just take off and fly. This is you, okay? And this is your inner child. You're getting ready to allow yourself and your inner child to finally fly free. Okay, and it really is beautiful energy. So just know this is a time of transformation. That does take a lot of processing. It takes a lot of energy and healing. Okay. And you're not going to feel like this forever. This is a healing process, okay? This is just a stage in the healing process. Yeah, we have higher perception. Okay, so Spirit wants you to know you are transforming, and after this you are going to have a different perspective, just like the Hanged Man, but you're also going to have a higher perception of what you've been through. And I think you're going to see yourself in a better light, have a higher perception of yourself. I think your perception of yourself is changing through this, and in a good way. Okay, one more. All right, we have create. So with this card, I think that this is about your creativity. Okay, creating a new beginning for yourself, creating something for yourself from a higher perspective. Okay, that's what I'm seeing. You are creating from a higher perspective now than what you have ever been before. Okay, so this is actually beautiful energy. One more. One more and that's it. Okay, starseed energy. I just love this card. You know what? I love all of these cards because they're so colorful. With the starseed energy, this is talking about the starseed blueprint, okay, and the transformations that you're going through right now. I feel are fated. I feel like you're meant to go through them right now, and I do feel that if you resonate with the starseed energy, you might have a higher level spirit guide that is helping you, okay, to guide you into this higher perception. And I just see it coming in through your third eye, so getting messages from them through your third eye. So pay attention to that, and it could come in images or thoughts. Mostly images, okay, or visions or dreams. One more. Okay, we have karma. Okay, look. You know what this reminds me of? This kind of reminds me of like a reversal from the Seven of Wands. It's like, let me see if I can find it. Or the Five of Wands. So it's like all of them with the wands fighting, and then like this angel comes down and takes the wands from them, it looks like, and they're like, hey, why'd you do that? I was using that wand to be rude or whatever. Like, you know, that's what I'm seeing here. So yeah, Spirit's saying, you know what, things are going to balance out here, okay? And you definitely have very powerful spiritual guides on your side that are protecting you. And, you know, Spirit's saying you don't deserve what you've been going through, okay? You don't. And it's time to release that karma, okay? That's what I'm getting here. So that's the reading that I have for you. Thank you so much for watching and joining me. I will see you soon. Bye.